just grab a few minutes of your time. We won't take too long because I know you're having a great time talking and meeting everybody. My name's Tony James. I'm the immediate past president of the West Australian School of Mines Graduates Association. So if you're wondering who I am, I'm here filling in for Bill Beamont, who's the president of the Graduates Association, who's in New York. I'd like to welcome Professor Steve Hall, who's the director of the School of Mines. Thank you, Steve, for hosting us tonight. I really appreciate your support of our organisation and your continued hard work at the school. I'd like to call on Steve Hall now just to say a few words as our sponsor tonight. Steve.
Yeah, the first time that TJ introduced me at a Graduates Association ball, he described me as the margarine in a ham sandwich. You remember that, TJ? So I was a little apprehensive about being asked to speak again with TJ as the Master of Ceremonies. However, when I realised the topic was the importance of WASM, the problem was one of how to only do it in 10 minutes, so bear with me. So I'd like to start by actually congratulating the University of Western Australia for achieving 100 years of operation. And of course, it's not the oldest institution of tertiary education in the state. The Western Australian School of Mines is 111 years young this year. However, that does not make WASM important. WASM was founded to save lives in the mining industry, and nothing could be more important, and I'll come back to that a little bit later. And I'm not intending to make this too serious. But being formed in 1902 to provide advanced education and research for the mining industry, at that time with a focus on the goldfields around Kalgoorlie, is essentially what we still do 111 years later. WASM now delivers programs to over 2,000 students on 3 campuses around the world. We will have over 700 students based in Kalgoorlie this year. Yeah, over 700. We have over 1,200 here in Bentley, many of which will progress to Kalgoorlie, but not all of them. And we have a further 150 students at Curtin's campus in Miri in Sarawak, Malaysia, studying petroleum geology. We currently comprise 5 departments: applied geology, exploration geophysics, spatial sciences, mining engineering and metallurgical engineering, and offer programs spanning the extractive resources sector, as Norm said, mining, oil and gas. And of course, many of our programs can lead to careers outside of the resources industry, with the generic skills we develop in our graduates sought after by many sectors of industry. And in fact, at the WASM graduation in Kalgoorlie in May, the speaker will be Dean Rogers, a mining engineering graduate who now actually heads Target Australia. So if you've bought any dodgy jeans or clothing lately, May is the chance to get your own back and get in his ear about what he's doing wrong. Of course, many of our alumni appear in the business pages of the daily newspapers and are leaders in many industries, role that the students here tonight can aspire to. And on that career journey, you're going to play vital roles in the mining industry across the world. With over 1,000 mine sites in Western Australia alone, you've got plenty of opportunity without looking to go over east, although we've noticed that not many of them make it over here, so we've probably got to go over there and help them out. But I just want to look a little bit deeper, because increasingly we're being asked to assist in mining for development offshore, especially in building mining education around the world. And in fact, we had 7 Kenyan visitors here in Perth and in Kalgoorlie last week. And yes, they've started a mining school a few years ago. They've got a few graduates out the other end of the pipeline, and now they're having some problems with their accreditation. So we're going to help them out. However, most of our politicians and bureaucrats don't really get it. They don't understand mining and its fundamental role that it plays in our economy and the role it can play in the economy of many developing countries. It's quite simple. It's about human dignity. The chance of a well-paid, highly skilled job that allows you to feed your family, educate and keep your kids healthy is something that we often take for granted. Core to this, of course, is safety and the knowledge that you will return to your family at the end of your shift or your roster. WASM offers the only undergraduate program in the state recognised by the Western Australian Mine Managers Board as satisfying all the educational requirements to allow applicants, having got the stipulated experience, to sit examinations set by government in mine law and safety. I repeat, the only institution. The law requires, of course, each underground mine be managed by a competent person, defined as having a first-class mine manager's certificate. So our graduates keep this industry safe and keep it going. Last year, for the first time, there were no fatalities in the West Australian industry. The year before, there were no fatalities in the Goldfields region. So we're safer than construction, we're safer than agriculture, and many other industries that complement what we do. As we've said, our graduates are involved in finding new mineral deposits, mapping deposits, mines and infrastructure, extracting ore, managing waste rock, processing ore, selling cheap jeans, no, that was an ad in, consulting, software applications and development, the list goes on. We graduate an estimated 30 to 40% of Australia's mining professionals, and you'll find these all around the mining world. A few years ago, I was challenged in Arequipa, southern Peru, for those of you that don't know where it is, by a concerned alumnus. What was I doing with WASM? And after telling him what I was doing with WASM, within 48 hours it was being debated on Twitter, the new social media. Actually, I impressed my 16-year-old the other day when I told him about iTunes University. He hadn't quite got that far yet, he's only 16. WASM is progressing content on there, and yes, I signed up a new couple of Twitter friends earlier and a few LinkedIn friends earlier today. Not quite as old as I look. Fundamentally though, this industry is built on trust, and you can trust a WASM graduate to do it right, as you've heard tonight. What else do we do? Well, last year, government and industry trusted us with $15 million to conduct research. $15 million. Spans projects that cover tracking and recovering meteorites to analyse the origins of the universe, monitor the level of Lake Victoria in East Africa to manage water usage, lock away tons of CO2 deep underground to mitigate climate change, find new ways of supporting rock in underground mining operations, more economic and environmental methods of extracting metals. It goes on. In fact, today, and we'd hoped to link in with the technology today to our Kalgoorlie campus, but this morning Minister Norman Moore introduced a research workshop connecting many of the new academic staff there with the local industry and government. Much of the research needs, as we know, are non-competitive, especially in safety, environmental performance and community engagement. Last year, the federal government announced the results of their research audit, Excellence in Research for Australia. WASM contributed to Curtin's submissions in 3 fields of research. Geology and geodesy, ranked 5. Geophysics, we ranked 4. And resource engineering and extractive metallurgy, we ranked 3. 3, in fact, is world standard. 4 is above world standard. 5 is well above world standard. The period audited actually ended in 2010, and since then we have invested in world-class staff, equipment and infrastructure, so we expect to do better when next audited in 2015. It's important because it's important to the industry, it's also important to our future funding. So I will leave you now to decide whether WASM is important or not. However, I'll challenge the younger people here, or those that are perhaps returning to university study for the first time. How you can return for the first time, I'm not sure, but are taking up university study perhaps at a mature age, because really you are the future of WASM. Take all the opportunities that are offered to you to become a leader in whatever field of endeavour you choose to follow. My own appreciation for Norm's efforts over many years. We are close to securing his replacement, and we hope that she will join us soon. That's as much as I can say. But some things change, some things never change, and hopefully we can have a few beers and chat, talk rubbish as usual, TJ, and I'll thank you for coming along this evening and giving me support in this job that I do. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks for sponsoring us. We never talk rubbish, it's all good, mate. Okay, plenty of drinks over there. Everyone have a good time. Please don't drink and drive tonight. Thank you.